What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to 4 for 1 with James Ward. It's been a minute, but we're back. Look, today I have a powerful show. 2-part series title is In the Hair. I have a powerful guest today who's going to discuss everything about the hair care industry and how she got there, built her industry. But before we get to that, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back to introduce our guest. See you in a minute.
Wanted to give a shout out to Miracle Barbie MD on Instagram, miraclebarbiemd.com. She put in a 360 wave unit. It's 100% human hair. She is the wholesale hair unit supplier to many men and barbers all across the world. She also will hook you up with a unit. She hooked me up, and I just want to thank her for giving me this 100% 360 wave unit, as you all can see. So I just want to thank you a lot, Miracle Barbie MD. She's the best. If you're a man out there, I don't care if you're Indian, Dubai, black man, white man, if you got straight hair, curly hair, kinky hair, wavy hair, and you're experiencing hair loss, if you want a ponytail, if you want a superfly unit, it does not matter what you want. Miracle Barbie MD is your woman. She's dominating this field. I love her. She has the best hair. Barbers, go get your hair. Miracle Barbie MD.
All right. I think I let the cat out the bag on that one. Okay, today's guest is Melessa Denee, owner, stylist, styling artist, and Weaveologist Extraordinaire. Has worked in the cosmetology industry for over 30 years with clients across the United States. Melessa has had the pleasure of working with elite clients in Beverly Hills, California. Melessa began her formal training while attending Virginia State University, majoring in fashion design and fashion merchandise. In 1988, Melessa began working as a cosmetology apprentice in a prestigious salon in Delaware. In the 1990s, her client base grew, leading Melessa to open and own her first salon. Called Melessa's Ultimate Hair Design, located in Delaware. Melessa began creating hairstyles for hair and fashion shows on the Eastern Seaboard. After winning multiple awards, her attention turns towards more glamorous hairstyles, with daily maintenance serving her clients. As new hair care methods and information became available, Melessa added to her hair skill sets by completing courses that include hair weaving, wig making, makeup application, and hair cutting. Many clients referred to the salon suffered severe hair loss due to chemotherapy, heredity, autoimmunity disorder, hormonal imbalance, and trauma due to accidents or surgery. To meet the needs of her clients, Melessa created custom-made wigs, lace wigs, hair extensions, and offered hair and scalp treatment. Melessa has developed her own hair care product line, which consists of shampoos, conditioners, hair growth oils, growth drops, hair growth leave-in conditioners, hair growth serums, and a multicultural and unisexual hair care line. Now, a powerful and successful entrepreneur, Melessa's vision and mission in life are to reach others on an international level. Her outstanding professional work ethic, compassion, caring, and kindness have afforded her to be a blessing to others. Social media and the internet. Let's give a big round of applause to my guest, Melessa Denee. Welcome to the show, Melessa. You had a packed house today. You have a packed house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm all giddy. You know, I'm just as silly as I can want to be. All right. So, like I said, this is it's gonna be a powerful show. We're gonna get a lot of information out on you, so the people who follow you already can get to know more about you, where your uproots came from, getting into the business, and talk more about the passion and everything that you created. So that's is there anything you want to share before we get started?
Uh, I just want to say thank you for having me on here. It's an honor to come back and work with my peers who I feel like that's where everything started for me back at Virginia State. And you being alumni and I being alumni also, it's just great for us to be able to come back and collaborate and build on something to empower and enlighten other people.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, let's get started. Okay, here we go. In your own words, who is Melessa Denee, the person?
Okay, the person, I'm a Christian. I'm a PK, which means I'm a pastor's daughter. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm an auntie. I'm a best friend. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a go-getter. I'm a shark, straight up shark. I'm about my business, but I'm a people person. I love people and I love helping people and I love seeing other people thrive and succeed.
Yeah, I know it. I know that first conversation we had leading up to this and preparing for it. I called you, you know, to get the green light if you like to be on the show, and it turned out to be a 2-hour conversation. And you was throwing some ideas at me on how I could grow my business. So I'm like, yeah, you a shark. You taste that blood, you go get it. But we're gonna talk about that later on the back end of the show. So some things I saw on your website. Okay, here we go. We're gonna take it back. We're gonna take back 30-something years. We talked about while you was in college, the designs you made for your classmates and the organizations on campus. Share a little bit of that with us.
Well, I first started doing things for the Qs. My cousin, Donzel Tiller, which everybody knows is Zell on campus, was the reason why I came to state anyway. So he came to me and said, hey, the Qs need some cummerbunds and some bow ties. You got me? And I said, I got you. So they were purple, gold, and black, pinstripe. And that just started like a fire. I mean, people started coming to me for different things, the deltas, the AKAs. Everything just took off. And then I started doing things for the inauguration balls, making gowns for young ladies who were going to be in the balls. My second year at state, because I was in the chorus my first year, because being a PK, I just loved going to church. So I joined the choir. And the first year I worked with some ladies as the fashion coordinator, like an assistant. And then my sophomore year, it was me. It was just me. And I had all those women to be over, all the gowns, your pearls, everything had to be coordinated. And being a fashion major, that was my joy. But people didn't really know I was really shy. So it kind of broke me out of my shyness coming from the country, being a country girl. I wasn't used to seeing 4,000 and 5,000 people on campus for nothing, you know. So coming from a small town, that really, really broke the mold for me. And then I really became popular, known as doing fashion and making clothes and just a little bit of everything, anything you needed. Even guys from New York would come to me and say, hey, remember the creases down the front and the back of the pants and the jeans in the 80s? And they wanted them to fit to their sneakers. Yeah. They would pay me $2 a crease. It was a crease in the front and the back. I mean, I was getting paid $10 per slack back then. So I got bit by entrepreneurship at state.
That's cool. That's cool. But I know Dizel was your cousin. That's my man. Everybody, mad respect. Mad respect. Mad love. Okay. Now this is, I know this probably rocked your house, parents and everything, but you walked away from college. You begin, I love this part. You begin your mission to find your hidden figures. When did you realize it was cosmetology that was your destiny?
Well, at school, everybody wanted to get their hair done, and I would just say, "Hey, I can do your hair," and before you knew it, it just took off. And then people would post up flyers all around campus saying, "Where are you at this year, Melessa?" Because we come back for the next year, so people were really looking for me. That's when I knew I had really, really tapped into something, and it wasn't just fashion anymore. I was focused on also hair. But the clicker for me was they both became my canvas. When I say fabric was my canvas, but then the head, which is hair, became my canvas. And then I decided that, hey, I think I'm gonna take this thing seriously. Actually, what happened was I was unhappy at State because I knew I wanted to leave and start my career outside of State into cosmetology or open up a boutique. But my mom was just totally against it. So she agreed, come home for 6 months, think about it. And if it doesn't work out and you don't go to the next level and what you say you want to do, you're going right back to State. But man, I came out kicking. Came out in December. February was in a salon, and a year and a half working in a full-time salon, and 2 years and a half had my own salon. So, I had to, prove something to my parents that I could do this. And it just took off from there.
Yeah, it's like we was coming up. Our fathers, if you didn't go to school, they'd tell you get a job, or you got to go. So yeah, you had that drive in you, and that's what's up. Okay, let me see, man. Excuse me, audience, but this is what I do. Fashion design became your passion. What clicked inside you to turn towards hairstyling? I guess you kind of just said that, but give us a little more insight on that there.
Okay, well, a little bit more on that would be, and let me just keep it real and be honest. I was at college, right? Broke, but really not broke, because my girlfriend's always could have had money, because I was always doing hair, making something. But when I finally realized how much, money I could make and be independent and be on my own, I got bit by the almighty green, for real. That's what happened. And then when I got out here and you realize, okay, green pays bills and you need green to pay bills, I got so focused on it. And it was already a joy. The gift was already in my hands. But I just realized, this is where God wanted me to be. It was no mistake that I left college. College was the playground to get me ready to where he had me going. If I probably had not gone, I don't know if my path may have orchestrated that way and that smooth.
Right.
So while I was at college, finding who I was as a young lady, developing myself, he was developing my skills. He was developing my self-esteem. He was developing me being able to deal with people, me being able to deal with people that I just don't even know, and in everybody. So when I finally, decided to open my salons, I was ready. I was ready.
Yeah, it sounded like something like basic training when I went to the Army at 35. The one thing they tell us they do, they break us down from being a civilian and build us up to being a soldier. So they tell a lot of, they tell a lot of old habits out of you. So it's some on the same line as that. But I'm glad it worked out because, from what I've seen on your websites, you are doing it. So now that's turning 1988. You begin your apprenticeship in cosmetology. How long was your apprenticeship? How long did that last?
The apprenticeship was 2 years. And when you do an apprenticeship, you basically work under another stylist who's a senior stylist or master stylist, and you do training. So therefore, you can then get your license. So once you do all your training, all your paperwork is done, then you have to go and take your state books, take your practical, and take your hands-on. So after I got my credentials and everything, I was ready to take my credentials and get my license. And let me just be honest with you guys. I was so focused on I'm doing hair that I didn't really focus on doing the theory, but I did focus. And I failed the first time I took the test. I was devastated. I got a 69. You need a 70 to pass. So my mother, being a teacher, she said, well, what did you fail in? And I gave her those 3 categories. She said, okay, we're going to drill you to death in them 3 categories. Because that's what you don't know. That's what you haven't retained. That's what you don't remember. And when I went back in there, I got a 92. Man, I fell on the floor. I cried. I hollered. I called my mom, my dad. And they were like, baby girl, you're on your way. You're on your way. You don't have nothing holding you now. So just go. But my dad, being a pastor, would always say, I don't care where you go, what you do, you better take God with you when you go. So I always, if you come in my salons, I always have something about the Lord. I used to have angels and cherubs all over the place. And people would say, oh my gosh, she's spiritual, but I am. And I know that this journey, it was destined for me when I was in the womb. I came out 6 years old. My mom and dad said, you know, playing with dolls, cutting up the hair, cutting up the clothes, my dad would give me his handkerchiefs. I never forget it. And then I'm gonna move on. And he being a pastor, the ones that had a cross on it, I couldn't cut because that was symbolic of Christ
Right,
to
right.
him. But all the other ones that was all stained up, long as they didn't have a cross on it, I could cut them. So I would cut them and, you know, make doll clothes. So they recognized early on that this young lady has a gift and it's in her hands. Now, what she gonna do with them hands? Then God's gonna orchestrate the rest. So that's really has been my journey.
Well, at least your pops didn't think he was gonna be a mechanic.
Nah.
Too early. Okay, nah, so the creativity you had from fashion design, how did you apply it towards hairstyling?
Well, that's a good question. Okay, now, when we were in the dorm, prime example, and remember the asymmetric, and people would come in, want the asymmetric cuts and all that, I would literally just visualize, because when you do fashion and you're very creative, you can see it and visualize before you apply it. And that's what creativity really is. So I would just use all those creative juices that I had from school, applied into what I learned during my apprentice, and then all the other natural creativity just always came out. So I'll say to anyone that is very creative, it's in you. All you gotta do is pull it out even more. And I just always listen and look for what that creative side was. And that has been my go-to, even in doing my clients up until today. A lot of things that we have now to use for hair weaves and wigs, we didn't have it back then. So I had to use those creative juices back then in like the 90s to do what we have now and to make it look the way it looks now. Now we have all the goods available for us to make it so much more easier. But if you are a stylist and someone sits in your chair and they have a severe problem, it is up to you to be able to deliver. So that's always been my motto.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. We all, it takes some of us almost a lifetime to figure out that God's gift. But it's better late than never. And I guess that's what I'm doing now through my JW effect, working with the college scholar athletes, because, you know, I saw firsthand and also went through something coming straight from home for the first time. And what I know now, I could tell them, you know, the game ain't really changed. It's just you got more coming at you than I had coming at me 30 years ago. So, you know, but it's the way we can get around it. And, you know, I'm just passing it back. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to give a shout out to some of the people who support 4 for 1 with James Ward. And we'll be right back for more questions with Miss Melessa Denee. Be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. Today's guest, Miss Melessa Denee, and we're here talking about it's in the hair and how she built up her industry, not her industry, but her business, being a powerful entrepreneur. And now I want to talk about the 90s. In the 1990s, you opened up your first salon, Melessa's Ultimate Hair Design. And in 2009, you opened up your second salon, Melessa's Weave Palace. Now, from there, let's talk about the journey, because there's a lot of things we're going to get into. Awards you done won, your community service, you know, accolades, and we're going to build up with the different things you created being in the business. So let's start off with the first salon.
Okay, well, the first salon, my mother helped me name that. And I was like, Mom, what am I going to name it? She said, Melessa's Ultimate Hair Design. So that's what my first salon was. It was a really, really small salon. maybe 4 stations and 4 dryers and 2 shampoo bowls. It was just enough room for me, my clients, and maybe one other stylist. And I would work in that salon till like 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning. Because again, I was trying to prove a point to my family and my peers and my parents that I was going to be successful. So my mother would often say to me, you move to the city and don't let the city overtake you. You overtake the city. So when I moved to the city, that was my mindset. And I just worked, build my brand, build my clientele base, stayed in that salon, then moved to another one, then moved to another one. And then eventually I had 2 salons. I know we said on here 2, but I ended up having 3, and we'll talk about that. But
Okay.
so this first one was in Melissa's Ultimate Hair Designs, and it was in Wilmington. Okay. And just kept growing and growing and growing. And then I decided that, hey, I want another salon, because the lady that I worked for in the beginning had 2. So I always admired that about her as a young lady myself, saying, wow, when I get older, I want to have 2. But I wasn't older. I was like 28 with 2 salons, and they were about 30 minutes apart. And I would do half a day, one salon, half a day the other salon, or I would spend the whole day in one and then spend the whole day in the other. And I ended up living where the second salon was, and that was when I ended up having 2. When you mentioned in 2009, that's when I opened my 3rd salon, which was
Oh, okay.
really Melissa's Weave Palace, which I still have to this day.
Okay.
It was in Baltimore. Okay, so then now I got 3 salons. There's no way I can do it. So I ended up closing the second salon that was up in the city in Wilmington, kept my salon that was in the suburbs where I now was living, and opened the salon in Baltimore, which was thriving. So I had Melissa's Weave Palace and Melissa's Ultimate Hair Designs. I moved to the suburbs in Middletown in the shopping center, and I'm still there to this day. So the ride has been hard work, a lot of sacrifice. I missed a lot of weddings, a lot of, important things sometimes. But now in my career, 40s and in my 50s, I take off when I want to, because I've made my money. I've made my name. People respect my work. They respect who I am. And they often tell me, you deserve a day off. So, so now I'm at that level where I can take off when I want to.
Let's get into now you have your salons up and running, your clientele is built. Let's talk about this trip out west. Let's talk about these Beverly Hills clients you had out west. What I forgot, and I meant to do a collage when I went into your website for the Beverly Hills, and I wanted to do that, but it got away from me. So we're going to discuss when you went out west. How did you get out there? What opened up on this side on the East Coast that led you to the West Coast?
Well, in all honesty, in 2009, when the recession, I guess that's what they would call it, hit, everybody was scared to move. President Barack Obama had just come into office, which I love dearly. And, everything was a standstill. And I'm like, okay, this is a time for a change here. Sometimes when things happen, sometimes it's for the betterment, for you to better yourself. So I decided, okay, it's slow. I had other staff in both salons, so I had the flexibility to, move a little bit. And I've always been a goal searcher and a goal seeker. I always set 6-month goals, a year goal, or 6-year goals. This was like a short-term goal. Let me just go see what it could be. Let me see what it could do. And what I did was I actually got I Googled some salons in Beverly Hills that were doing things that I wanted to do. I was already doing hair weaving exclusively, dealing with women with severe hair loss exclusively. I hadn't tapped into the men's side yet, but what I did was when I Googled, I looked for salons in Beverly Hills that kind of did that. And I marked about 5. And then I called and made appointments and, called, left voice messages. And this one particular salon that I had with a big star on my page called me back. And I prayed over this paper. I said, God, if it's meant, let something happen here. And when he called back and he said, we're looking for somebody like you. And he said, would you fly out here? And literally, I'm telling you, I got on the plane, went out there, got my rental car. I'm driving from LAX and I'm driving down, going into Beverly Hills. And man, I freaked out. I said, I'm in Beverly Hills. Oh my God. The salon was right on South Beverly Drive. I was right on Beverly Drive. I was literally like a block and a half. Well, those blocks are really long. So I would say maybe 10 blocks and a half from Rodero Drive. I was on Rodero Drive so much to the point that it doesn't even excite me anymore to go there. People get excited about it because they haven't been. But you know, the salon was right on South Beverly Drive. I walk in, nice gentleman, he and his wife, they delighted to have me. They said, listen, you can do all the women that come in here, non-surgical hair replacement, but the men I do. So I had to respect that. But what I did do, I learned so much from this gentleman. He was doing so many affluent celebrities that were coming in. And he would say to me, when they come in, you can't really say anything, you can look. And I observed, and it really made me see, wow, there's so much more that I can have than just what I thought. And it took me to not just the next level, to like 5 levels all over again. And I was excited about my career. At this point, I probably was about 43, around 43. And I'm just telling you, it made me feel like I was 16 all over again, you know, and I just took it seriously. I learned a lot. He would give me a lot of information. And I decided to start taking classes to get my certifications in this stuff, because I said, wow, this is amazing. This is serious. But one thing the gentleman I was working for said to me, he said, Melessa, this market is wide open for Afro-Americans because nobody's doing it for the Afro-American male. And I observed, I was like, wow, he's right, because he's not doing too many Afro-Americans in here. So that's when I came back, started taking classes, started to learn the technique, would ask him what to use, this and that, using my creative juices. And then before I knew it, I was actually doing it. And it just brought joy to me to see these men who didn't have hair to give them the hair.
That's cool. Yeah. Once your third eye open, it would never go to sleep. And I want to say, you let us know you're from a small country town, and it's almost like you struck oil, and you and Uncle Jed moved to Beverly Hills. You hit that oil, you went to Beverly Hills. Okay, so this now what I want to talk about. Now we got everything going. Excuse me. Now we got everything going, and you into the. We're going to go into. Before we do that, we're going to take another quick break to give a shout out, because we got a little pace going here. I'm going to give another shout out to one of our supporters. Then we're going to come in and we can get into the different styles, the non-surgical, the micro links, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to share that with our audience. So we're going to take a quick break. Be right back.
Okay.
Are you dealing with depression and anxiety, stress, grief, or even pandemic fatigue? If you are, here's the good news. Feeling better is just one click away. Telehelp 247 is a culturally competent virtual mental health care service designed to meet you where you are and help you navigate life's challenges. Log on to telehelp247.org and start chatting with the therapist now, because getting your life back matters.
Okay, welcome back with my guest, Miss Melessa Denee. I said it right?
Yes, you did.
Your name gives me shivers. But anyway, it's a beautiful name. Okay, I have a list here where you deal with hair weave designs, micro extensions, and non-surgical hair replacement for women and men. We're gonna start with the hair weave design. I'm gonna share a collage with them like I made, and and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get the audience a moment to look over it, and you can speak on it too. So here we go. So what we have here?
Well, you have different types of hair weaving done for the women. So this far right, which is curly, well, far left, I guess that'll be the curly. That's what you call a natural leave out, natural part leave out. Okay, the hair that I used was Brazilian deep curly, and we used 3 bundles. She wanted really, really full. So it's probably like a 16, 18 or 20. And you leave out just a little so that it covers the person's hair. But that's a great protective style if you do not want to wear your hair fully covered. Okay, so it's supposed to blend with your own natural hair. So I'm really key on texture. You have to make sure that when you're using any type of hair weave, okay, the first thing is texture. The second thing is color. If the texture is off, you can always correct the color. Okay. So I always tell my clients when they come in with some bundles or something, let me check it. Because if it's not right, I'm not using it because it's really my work has to be perfect. And if you use the right goods, it can make your work look amazing. Okay. So then the one below her, she has everything sewn in, which is a net weave, which means there's no hair left out. That weave has been around for ages. Okay. Women have been getting that type of sew in for years, but people still want that sew in. And if you do it correctly, you can make it look flawless. And as you can see, her hair looks beautiful. Okay. Then I'm going to go over to the far bottom, over to the far right. That is a kinky curly partial sew in. Okay, which you only weave half of the head on top, and then you blend it with the sides and the back to make it look like it's that person's hair. Again, texture is key because you got to make sure that texture and that color matches that person's hair, or else it will look fake. The very top lady with the black shirt, that is what we call a natural sew-in, but she's wearing straight hair, more of like a body wave hair, as opposed to the other lady wore curly hair. But that's a natural part leave out. You blend the person's hair. It's a great protective style. A lot of women who are not into wearing more of the wigs and the wigs and frontals and closures, they like wearing this, which is a traditional sewing, which has been around for a long time. Okay. Now, the lady in the middle is one of my elite clients. She has no hair left out. Okay. Because there are some issues, but I was able to sew it. And if you remember, I love sewing because fashion design and needle and thread has always been my first love. Now
Right.
I've just changed it over to what I do. And so whenever I have to create something, so this lady in the middle, my creative juices had to come out for this one. Color, personality, what she does for a living, all that stuff goes into play. And technique is always key. You have to know how to place the hair so it doesn't look fake, so it looks like it's growing out of that person's scalp, even though there may be some hair challenges there.
All right, cool. Well, it's no, you see, I'm wearing natural, so it's no many questions I can ask about that. But I guess the industry, the hair weave industry, and the wig industry have came a long way. There's a lot of African, people of color, women of color, and men who are now cosmetologists, and but like back in my mother day, hairdressers. They called them hairdressers, and it's growing, and it's really growing big, and it's something good to get into if you have the patience, if you have the humility. You could do well in this. Okay, now we're going to slide to this micro link extensions. This is a form. You say this is a form of non-glue extensions. You would explain that, and micro bead extensions. So let's pull that one up. I think it's this one. All right, pull a couple of these and tell us about it. I'm kind of interested in real quick. I apologize because I was opposed to a number of these. I'm really interested in this one right here. This bottom left. If you're looking at it, it should be the bottom left. Tell me about that one.
Where you see my hands?
Yeah,
you see my hands? Yes. Yeah. Okay. That is showing in the picture basically how that technique is done, how you lay the foundation first. Okay. So when the client comes in, they'll tell you, oh, I want to be able to wear it up. I want to wear it down. So when they do that, then you have to build that foundation based on what hair they have that you can build around it. So what I basically did was built inside of what she wanted to have down. So when I go to pull it up, as you can see in the ponytail, you don't see any of the wefts. But this was what we call micro weft extension. So you can do it with the micro links, and then you add a little thin weft, and you actually can attach them to the weft with a tool, or you can attach it to the weft by sewing them in. So I do both methods. It just depends on the density of the person's hair. Person's hair really, really soft. You got to be careful on what you're going to do to it. That's another thing too. It's not just about weaving. It's about knowing your client's hair and knowing hair density, how porous it is. Can their hair hold a lot of weight? So this young lady here got micro weft extensions exclusively, and she loves them. Loves them.
Okay.
And she's actually, I believe that she's either Indian. She may be one of my Indian clients.
Right. So when we was talking, this is the style for that you say it's the non-glue extension, where you were saying for some women who has full hair, they're comfortable with their hair, but sometimes they might want to give it a little bit more. I'm trying to use the correct terminology, a little bit more body, a little bit more body. And they can come and they can just come get this and it can give them what they ask for.
Exactly. So prime example, the young lady in the middle, she had nice long hair, but it wasn't full. So we did a comparison of the texture of hair that should be used for her hair. So her hair is naturally curly, so it has to be naturally curly hair. That's the first thing. Then it has to match her color. So then I had to go and do a customized color because she walked in the door with already color in her hair. So then I have to customize that color to make it match her hair perfectly. So when you install these extensions, they look flawless. So first you got the hair texture, the pattern, that's the hair texture, and the color. And then once you do all that, then she'll tell you the style and you go ahead and install them. So she has a nice head of hair, but her hair was really fine, and she just wanted healthier hair. So this is great for women who don't want to wear sew-ins, but they want to wear another type of extension. A lot of my Indian clients get this done, Caucasian, and a lot of Afro-American women are now coming on board and doing this because it's less invasive, they think, than wearing a sew-in, but that's not so. I've had women who wear sew-ins and their hair grows all the way down to the butt. So this depends on what you like, what you can afford, because this technique, I charge $200 per row. So if you get 5 rows, do the math. You get 9 rows, do the math. Then we add on color, and then we add on the cost of the hair. So this can be, $2,200 easy. So it has to be someone, first of all, who knows what it costs, who doesn't mind paying it, and they're going to take care of the hair for the $2,200 or the $1,800 that they spent.
Right. Now in that picture, the lady in the middle, beautiful smile. To me, if I saw her on the subway, walking down the street, coming into class, whatever, to me, that's just a natural look. I mean, like we were saying earlier, the times and everything has changed, and that just looks so natural to me. I wouldn't even, because I knew when I was maybe our early days in school or in college, or maybe, after school, some women was getting it done by people that looked like they didn't even know what they was doing. And you could see the track marks and the sew marks. So that one there, I like that picture. Beautiful smile. That's a nice natural look.
Well, it's funny you said that, because let's go back to where you just said they were getting tracks and all that, and hair. Back then, the hair was that Chinese store hair, which looked like that. And that's why I'm a stickler. I will not use the wrong type of hair for that person's hair. It has to match, because there's no way you got kinky hair and you got silky straight weave in. It looks crazy. It just does not look real. So you said a mouthful when you said that that's why a lot of guys were turned off from their girls or their lady friends wearing weaves, because they just saw the horror stories of how bad weaves can look when they're not done properly. So, but this is perfection. This is what I do. This is my love. I'm just obsessed with hair. I'm obsessed with the canvas that we call hair. I'm obsessed with making women look and feel better every day, all day.
Okay, now for our audience out there who's looking, and somebody might have just sat in and say, which I know she's been in a long time, but is she certified? So we're going to jump on the certification, and you explain to us these certifications so we can let our audience know that you have the goods, you've been through the fire, and you earned your stripes. So here we go. He's a certification. Sam Russo?
Yep. Ambrose, so that's gentleman in Beverly Hills I worked for. I got certified through him. Then I went to Florida, Miami, spent almost a week there, got certified there. Then I went to Atlanta, got my certification there. Then I went to Tennessee and got that last certification on top of having my license in Delaware, Maryland, and in California, because I realized if I'm gonna work in California, I want to go on set. I want to be able to work in, the big stuff. So I made sure I got all those licenses, and I literally keep them up to this day, even though we're in a pandemic and I can't travel as much as I want to, but I keep those licenses up.
And yeah, good job. I like this right here, your awards. Talk to us about this.
Okay, well, a lot of those awards was when I was in my 20s and some of my 30s. I got the Salon Image Award for a platform stylist. Then I got a 2-time winner of the Solid Gold Stylist of the Year Award. Then Salon of the Year Award, and then Solid Gold Salon. Well, that was a stage production where you had to do things on stage. So I always, whenever I would do something, come in first and second. And I think that's because, one, I love what I do, but then I was just naturally gifted, and I realized where my gifts and talents were, and I just worked on it. I perfected them. So whenever I would go and do shows, I wasn't surprised if I placed. Got placed. So these are just some of my awards. I have, many other ones. There's another one, Stylist and Makeup Artist of the Year, because creativity is not just hair, makeup, and how the woman looks totally is a total package. So when I would do these things here, I would do my own makeup for my models. I would do their hair, and I would get an award for both, because they would say, wow, the makeup is just as amazing as the hair was. So but yeah, these are some of my awards.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I was putting this together, I saw a Solid Gold Award, Salon Stage Production, and the first thing came to my mind, right? Wow. Ooh, she worked on the Solid Gold. Remember Solid Gold, the music show? I was like, you working with the Solid Gold dancers. I was like, oh my God, I saw that day. I was like, you was working with the Solid Gold dancers. I was like, Solid Gold Awards, Solid Gold. Wow. Yeah, you remember that show, the music show they was dancing? So yeah. Yes. And okay, so now we really going to get into it, because you shared how nervous you were when you was getting ready to get into this portion of it, because you get real close to your clients, and that's the non-surgical for with the women. So I'm gonna share one of your this video here. Here we go.
Hello, Miracle Barbie MD here. This client has total alopecia, and over 50 women in America suffer from some type of hair loss. She was done a non-surgical hair replacement technique with one of my full lace wigs for my full lace line. She's a bride, and she just wanted to be beautiful on her day. If this is you, click the link in my bio so I can be a blessing to you also. Isn't she absolutely beautiful and amazing for her day?
When I first saw that video, that was the first one I grabbed. I said, oh, I love this one here. And she does. She's very beautiful for that special day. And you that gift of fashion and styling and creativity, you carry it with you. It's your core. And you are able to bring smiles to people. So we're gonna pull up this. You want to have anything to say on that video, the young lady?
Well, ironically, that young lady was Spanish. She didn't speak any English at all. So when the phone rang, it was her trying to tell me. So she had to have a friend who spoke English to talk to me. So they came down for the consultation. Again, this lady doesn't speak any English. I had to pull out a whole bunch of wigs and stuff that she could pick from and test them, because again, she can't tell me what she really likes if she doesn't speak English. So she would just shake her head, yes, excited, yes. And then finally, when it came time to come back to get her hair done, she was very, very, very quiet that day. But when I got done with her hair, she started speaking in Spanish to her girlfriend, and the girlfriend started saying, "Oh, she just loves her hair. She's thankful to you. Oh my gosh, she can't believe it. Oh, she can't wait till her wedding." So those are the kind of things that for me is priceless. When you give somebody that kind of joy, because she was getting married, she was going on a honeymoon, she didn't want to be away, and where about a wig coming off, and she was wearing a synthetic wig. So what I did for her, it wasn't going to come off; it was going to stay on. So she felt glamorous on her wedding. And as you can see, she sent me photos later to show me what she looked like after her wedding day.
Cool. All right, so let's get into a little bit more non-surgical for women.
Okay.
Go ahead and speak on a couple of these.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. All right. So the top young lady has alopecia, 22 years old, and she came in because she has, as you can see, about only, she has 80% hair loss. I would say 80% hair loss, but she wanted to look like her peers. So she wanted a short Anita Baker, Tony Braxton haircut. So I did that unit. It's a full lace unit that I actually put on her. Okay, it has to be cut and it has to be molded to her head. Okay, then after you do all that, then the unit is supposed to look like it's growing out of that person's scalp. She literally loved it. She was 22 years old, and she said, "Thank you, Miss Melessa, for giving me my life back, because when you're young, all you want to do is, look like your peers. You just want to feel like your friends." So that's what she got. The one below her, she was an older lady, probably about 65, 70, has had alopecia for quite some time. And that was a custom-made wig I made for her. That one, even though I may make a custom-made wig for someone, I still will glue it on because they don't want them to come off in front of their husbands or whatever. So that was glued on. The one in the middle, she had been wearing quick weaves by someone who really didn't know what they were doing. Took out all her hair on the top. She was completely bald. So that was a topper I had to put on her. So the topper comes in like a blonde. You have to go back in and color the roots. You have to blend it, cut it, thin it out to make it look realistic. The only hair that she did have on her head would be around her ears and around her taper. So then you have to blend and bump that hair up to the taper. So that's what I did for her. The top one over to the right with the blue shirt on, that's another topper that she has on. And the topper is nothing but just a toupee, what we call a toupee for a man. That's what she has. She was in the military, so she actually got her hair done, paid for by the VA. Okay. And then the bottom one, she is completely bald except for just around the bottom of her neckline. So all that hair you see in the back, even where it looked like it's been shimmied, I actually had to take the hair, shimmy that in to make it look like it was a neckline, when only her neckline was only like an inch and a half taper back there. So these are things that I do. This is the creative stuff that I do. But I use the technique that I was taught. But then you have to then use your creative juices, because you want this stuff to look as real as possible. So these are, I call my babies when I'm doing hair, because I have to give them 150%, and I do. And when I'm done, they're not only overjoyed, but I am too, because we nailed it. I tell them we nailed it to the cross. That's my favorite thing to them.
Well, quick question I think it's based on what we were just talking about. One of our guests says, do you use protective weaves on women with locks?
Okay. She wants to know, do I do a protective weave for women with locks? Yes. So I've had women come in, Sharon, who had locks, but they wanted to wear a long weave like I'm wearing, or a long wig like I'm wearing right now. So I have done lace applications over top of locks. You can do a protective weave style over top of locks. So yes, I do make sure I do protective style, but you can get that. If you're interested, Sharon, I don't know where you're located. My phone number is 302-602-0507. Text me, say, hey, my name is Sharon. I was on this live with Ward today, and I'm interested in knowing more about your services. My salons are in Baltimore and Delaware, And my website is theweavepalace.com. Okay.
And we'll be showing that again. Okay, let me see. Now this is probably what everybody's sitting there saying. Do she put her hands in the man's head? Yes, she do, and
Yes, I
has
do.
done some great work. This here now we're gonna get into the non-surgical men's hair replacement. I mean hair replacement. And now I can tell you the photo I use for the middle, that is tight.
Yes.
That's tight.
Now, a lot of the guys out west in California, they like to wear that look. They like to wear the two braided look. So that's what I call that. A lot of the guys out in California wear that. Am I losing you?
No, you still here. Just chime in on a couple of these other photos you got.
Okay, now the very, very top guy who has a curly unit on, but he wanted to wear some braids. And he wanted just a loose braid. So that's a full lace unit on him. Now, speaking of locks, this gentleman has locks and his hair was like a honey blonde underneath of that lace wig. So he has that gold cape on. He has a full lace curly wig that was installed. And then I actually braided going back for him because he wanted to wear like just a couple plaits. Every now and then he may do the Pocahontas plaits. But he does have dreads underneath that unit. The guy right below him, he has hair, but only around the sides and back. So his top is gone, almost like a George Jefferson. He has no hair. So these are the toupees that I use for men. It has to be the right texture and right color again. So this is what we call a topper. So I put the topper on him to aid in making his hair look perfect. The guy over to the far bottom is an Indian guy. I have a lot of Indian guys from India, Honduras. I don't know if people remember, but years ago, Indian men would wear kufis. Well, the new generation of guys, they don't want to wear the kufis like their dads did. So that's why they come in and get these non-surgical hair replacements, because it looks like it's their own hair. So as you can see, look at the guy at the top. You can see where we started from, but if you look at it, it looks like it's growing right out of his scalp. So this is what the gentleman out in Beverly Hills did a lot of on the Caucasian men, on a lot of celebrities. A lot of celebrities are walking around here that don't have hair that we don't know. I can name.
All right, hold on, everybody. We lost her. She got to get back in. But yeah, Melessa does a lot of good work with men and women. So I'm gonna put up her information until she logs back on, because I think we lost her signal. So here's her information, her websites, Facebook page, Instagram page. She has her 2 salons in Delaware and in Baltimore, and she has a toll-free hotline. Like I said, this is a great show. To know where she started from, her passion. Okay, here we go. She's back. Hey, welcome back.
I'm back.
You must live near the airport. Fighter jets riding by. Just
Something's going on.
We were talking about I had a video to go with that one. And I guess you can speak on this. I should have showed it first, but here we go.
That's okay. Okay. I'll wait till the video is done, and then I'll talk on it for you. This is another one of my Indian clients, 27. He was 27. And, suffer from hair loss. A lot of the hair loss is genetics. Some people think it's something you've done to your hair. Normally, if you look at your dad or your uncles or your grandpa, you can tell where the hair loss comes from. So your genetics does not lie. Your genetics tells it all. This gentleman had severe hair loss due to genetics. He got a non-surgical hair replacement system, and we use a straight system. It had to be colored to match his hair, the density. You got to thin it out. There's a lot you have to do to this unit as opposed to just picking up a unit and putting it on them. You have to make sure it blends and looks perfect.
So I got one question.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I know where it's at. Do you work with women who may be suffering from hair loss but can't afford your fees? Now, I saw on one of your websites you work with insurance, and explain that. Are you still with us?
Am I breaking up again?
We can hear you. Okay, you coming back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now I do work with women who cannot afford my fees. Now, I have insurance that you can go through, and we can put you on a payment plan. And then sometimes I just have women that, the Lord will tell me every now and then, help that one, because it's not all about money all the time, because he'll bring back the increase. Matter of fact, he'll bring back favor that overrides no amount of money that I ever could make. So sometimes I do bless people, or people come to me who only can afford A, B, C, and D, and I'll give them the whole shebang, because again, it's my work. But I don't do it all the time now. So I don't want people on here thinking that I'm just going to give you some kind of handout, because I'm not. But I do bless people when they need me to. But if you can go through insurance, that would be great. If you are an insurance candidate, I will help you get approved. And so if you're interested and you're one of those people that need to go through insurance, you can go to my website, theweavepalace.com. When you get on there, you can look for the insurance link and click on there, or you can just call me directly, and then I could walk you through that link. I could text you the link. So call me 302-602-0507. And then I can, it has my other numbers up here, but my cell direct connect is 302-602-0507. But let me just tell you something serious. All those numbers that you have up there, Ward, if they call me, they'll still get me, because all those numbers ring into my cell anyway.
Okay. I like that 1-800 number. Hotline 24/7. I gotta get to a party. Can you hook me up? Like in Beauty Shop, when she came in, the radio person, I forget her real name. She's like, I need a hookup right now. But so we're getting close to winding down. So share. I want you to share that piece you shared with us about when I was teaching when you was in school taking fashion design, and when you got into your apprenticeship for cosmetology, that did they have any counseling classes or how to work? Because when you're working with men and women who suffer from severe hair loss, such as the pictures we showed you, I know you get emotional, and you were sharing that with us. So let's touch on that. And then I asked you to give us a word of closing after that.
Yes. When I first realized that this is something I really want to do, I'm going to take seriously, this is all I'm going to do, I literally prayed on myself first and said, God, equip me to be all I can be to these women and to these men, because it is serious. It's some serious business here. It's not just about the amount of money that you make, but you're empowering people. You're bringing their self-confidence back. You are.
Okay, I know I was froze there for me myself. Basically, what I was asking her is, when you work with people that suffer from dealing with terminal diseases such as cancer, and we know women and men, they lose their hair behind it, and you go to a young lady like Melessa, and they be able to bring you that confidence back. You know what I'm saying? They have to be empathetic and have caring and been passionate like she's doing. She's been in the industry for over 30 years. And so she's sharing with us now. She's sharing with us now. what it took for her to get there. Go ahead. I'm just keeping the audience busy until you got back.
I'm so sorry. But yes, when I really decided that this is what I was going to do, I literally prayed about it, and I said, God, give me what I need to be the best for these people, because people come in there that were burn victims, people who have lupus, who have their scalp it's raw, inflamed, so you're not just only doing a technique for them, but you're actually, like you said, it's a ministry. You got to have yourself together so when they come in, you're pouring into their mental side. You're empowering them, you're lifting them up, you're giving them their self-confidence back. And these people tell you everything about them, and you have to be a listener, like you said, a counselor. Sometimes they sit in your chair for one thing, but you end up helping them with something else. And that always happens. When women come in there, they have some brokenness. Not only are they broken because the hair is coming up, but there are other broken areas in their life. So it has been very rewarding for me to not just give a service that I financially get paid well, but a service where people are really, really being blessed by.
Cool. All right. So first, I'm gonna say I thank you for coming on, sharing all this good knowledge with us, letting everybody know where you started, where you at, how passionate you are. Is there one last thing you want to leave our audience?
Yes. I'll give my website. You can go to theweavepalace.com. I have 2 locations. One's in Baltimore, one's in Delaware. I do travel, though. I do offer classes of any stylists. If you have friends that are stylists, I do offer classes. I am now going to be showing other potential stylists on how to build a brand. So that's going to be there. So if you go to the website and you see some jot poems, fill them out so I can then call you back and get you started on to your next great adventure. And
Cool.
what I just want to say, thank you for having me on. I know this has probably been a long interview for you, but I want to say thank you.
Oh, no, I'm good. Like you told me, I just like running my mouth sometimes. I stumble, but I get up and keep running. But I appreciate you for coming on and starting off this 2-part segment titled It's in the Hair. And let everybody know your beginnings and where you at and how passionate you is with your work. And I'm going to put your information on my website, on my Facebook page, and get it out there for some young up and coming cosmetologists, or I'm gonna call them hairdressers. I'm just comfortable with that. Future hairdressers. So I'm gonna throw you in the green room. Don't go nowhere. Huh?
Future cosmetologists and beauty brand professionals.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's too many words for me. Okay, so I'm gonna put you in the green room. Don't go nowhere. And I'm gonna sign off, and then we're gonna get back and we're gonna chat it up. I'll see you in a minute. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, everybody. That was part 1 of It's in the Hair, 2-part series. Stay tuned for part 2. Check out my social media and I'll let y'all know when that show is gonna be coming up in a few weeks and who's that guest gonna be. I thank y'all again for chiming in, supporting me. I want y'all to be safe. Continue getting your shots, wearing your mask, and taking it slow. So until next time, God bless. Let the ancestors and God continue to guide you and protect you. Ashe, ashe, ashe.